This is The Roadmap with Ted Jenkins.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Roadmap exclusively here on ASBN.com. I'm your host, Ted Jenkins, and every week we bring you some of the brightest and best CEOs, entrepreneurs, and business owners all around the United States. People always want to know, how do I climb the ladder? How do I scale my business? How do I exit the business one day? So I get to interview business owners of all shapes and sizes, but today I have a very special one. My friend Jahn, he's the CEO of DynamiX. I have to tell you something. When it comes to websites, Jeff knows. Maybe that'd be a new slogan we put on there. When it comes to websites, Jeff knows. I just wanted to start this thing, and you actually started this thing in college, back in 2005. One day, did you wake up and say, hey, I'm pretty good at these websites, I should start building more of them?
I had actually never built a site before. It was more that I was a poor college student, as all students are, and I had supercharged my 99 Mercury Mountaineer and wanted to put an alarm system.
A 99?
So I had a Mercury Mountaineer with a 5.0 Mustang motor in it and thought I would give it more power, and then I said, hey, I need an alarm system for it. So I looked at what it was that I could give as a poor college student in order to get an alarm system. And I had never built a site, but I built a lot of computers and been in tech forever. And so I spent 3 months, designed a site, printed it out, walked in, and sold it to this car shop in exchange for an alarm system.
And made some money in college doing it that way. But did you know at that time, I want to become an entrepreneur, maybe a serial entrepreneur? Did you get the bug after getting that first sale?
So I call myself a recovering introvert. I used to bump into people because I was looking at my feet. And at 9, I built my first computer with my dad. And at 14, I actually started my first pseudo business. And it was funny because there were no cell phones in '99 for kids. So they would call.
That's true. There were no cell phones.
So they call my parents and they would say, hey, this is State Farm. We need this call center set up. Can we speak to Jeff? And so my mom would say, Jeff, Tim from State Farm's on the phone. I go, great. My mom's my answering service. Pick up the phone, say, yeah, sure, I can do that, Tim. What time can you come pick me up? So people would drive me around Atlanta to build things for them, fix computers, set up networks, and that kind of thing. So sophomore year of college, I had already done a lot of that kind of experiential stuff. So it was sort of just.
You were on the Geek Squad before there was a Geek Squad.
Exactly.
That's what you were doing.
Exactly.
So DynamiX, it forms as a company. One of the things that I'm most amazed by is that when people want to build a website, I hear people say, oh, you're going to do that on Wix or WordPress or Squarespace, but you actually developed your own proprietary software called Octane. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so when we started building sites in 2005, we looked at the marketplace and we said, there are a lot of try to be everything to everybody pieces of software out there, and we didn't really want to be that. We wanted to be something that was hyper-focused on the best of the best. The companies that really wanted to have a great customer experience, wanted to engage with them, wanted to tell a story in a way that you didn't get from a normal thing. And so we're now 18 years into building software, and we've won more awards than any company.
You had 500 awards, right?
1,400 awards.
1,400 awards now?
So, but it came from that fundamental concept that you can't be great if you're an everything for everybody mechanism. And so we aimed to empower great brands to tell their story and engage their customers without trying to be, something that your grandmother goes and runs her private blog.
Yeah, but I think what's unique about your software is that a lot of people that develop websites, it's almost like they intentionally make it difficult, so you have to call the web guy to be able to get your site fixed if you need anything. But yours actually encourages the company that you build for that you can do this on your own.
Yes, yeah. So we have a few mantras. The one that underpins everything we do is do it right or don't do it. And another one is if you need us again, we didn't build it right. And so we have a Navy SEAL team. We don't seek to make revenue off of people's support agreements and that kind of thing. We have a few places that want us to support them, But generally speaking, our job is to make it so that we're not necessary anymore, and you can do everything you want to do running your business today and into the future because our software allows for it, and it's easier to do something than it is to ask us for help.
So I think it'd be great today to share this idea of the pricing strategy that you created, because when a business owner starts a business, they ask themselves, should I be the highest end of the market, the lowest end of the market? Should I start slow and then raise my prices? But I always feel like that you said, we're going to be at the high end of the market, and if you're not at the high end of the market, you're not our customer. Was it intentional or no?
So in college, we actually started at $2,350 and then $3,250 just to add a little, and then we kind of went from there. So we experimented across the spectrum, but my goal at the time and to this day has been, how do we take on the fewest number of people that we can put the most energy into, guys that are aligned with our values, where we're proud to have that logo, the DynamiX logo, in the footer of their site, and see their trucks driving by and that kind of thing. So it's never been about price as much to us as it's been about alignment. We don't actively solicit business, and we turn down about 85% of people who come to us.
Say that again, because I think that is the ridiculous part of the business. You turn down 85% of the people that come into the door.
And the dollar amount is a minimal part of it. Generally, it's more about, do they have good reviews? Do people like them? Do we like them? Because life's too short to work with jerks and to work with people that don't value our opinion. We're not a pencil where you come in and you say, this is exactly how it is. You bring us in because you want to have your story told in an interesting and compelling way.
But Jeff, why do so many business owners struggle with that? Because I feel like a lot of business owners are held hostage to growing revenues, so they basically take every Tom, Dick, and Harry as a client. Like,
Yep.
How do you enforce that with your staff to say, like, look, we don't want to work with everybody? Because I think that's a really hard decision for a business owner to make.
So it started with a poor experience in college, actually. We had a site that we built for a company, and just as it was about to launch, the guy said, what about that second site you were going to build me? And I said, we didn't talk about a second site. And he said, yeah, you were going to build me a second site for free. And I said, we have a contract, we never talked about any other site. And he said, I know all that. But the way I see it, you're a poor college student, you're overworked, you don't have any money, and I could sue you. Wouldn't it be easier to build me another site for free? And that instilled in me this very strong drive to make sure that we only work with people that we have aligned values on. So our mantra on that is hell yes or no. Because every good thing that we take on removes bandwidth for the really exciting, great thing that everybody's all in on. And so that do it right or don't do it, hell yes or no, those things underpin every conversation that comes in. And so the team, it's easy to be in alignment on it and to look at it and say, do we love these people? Do we want to help them succeed? Or is this someone that maybe someone else will better serve?
The world seems to be changing with technology every day, but the big one that's sort of come out this year is around AI. Obviously, there's Chat GPT, there's like Auto GPT. I feel like I see another GPT every other day. But how should a business owner that has a website now, or they're thinking about their business, how important is AI going to be as it relates to their website?
It's going to be very important, and it already is. So we've been playing with that tech for a number of years, but it was not mature to the point that it suddenly became. As soon as that happened, we integrated it into Octane, and we've been using it now for several months. And maybe about 3 weeks ago, we made the decision that every single site we've ever built now has what we call Octane AI. And it's
Octane AI.
Yeah, so it's a role of the ChatGPT tech that you're familiar with, but we're also feeding it additional instructions that tell the API what it is this company does and gives them enough background in order for that content to be much more useful and usable than it would be when you're sitting there interfacing with the chat engine itself. And so you can go into your site, and every single input has an Octane AI button next to it. You press it and you can say, hey, rewrite this copy, or you can say generate a paragraph or a full blog article about it or whatever, and it will create that for you in real time. You can add any constraints you want to into it. But out of the box, it's built to be way smarter than the tech if you were using it outside of our software.
In and of itself, is it important to a business owner, because however this all shakes out, whether it's Google or anything else, that the rank of your company will come up higher when people are searching for the services or products that you offer?
So this was our big concern going into this year in this conversation was, will people be harmed by using AI copy versus content that they sit and manually create?
Right, because you didn't write it.
Right.
Although my mom wrote a book, Jeff. It wasn't good, but we wrote it on ChatGPT.
Nice. So we have been working behind the scenes, talking to people that work with Google and doing everything we know how to do to understand the implications of this positive and negative from an SEO standpoint, because the last thing we want to do is give you a tool that ends up being harmful to you. Everything we're seeing is that there's potential for massive SEO lift versus atrophy in continuing down that path. And I don't foresee search engines taking a negative stance on it because it helps to better hyper-serve an audience. So if you came into a air conditioning page and it had content that was, right here, but you really wanted to dive into a particular topic, now you can go very deep into a lot of topics and answer a question that you couldn't have answered without spending thousands of dollars before. So there's a lot of value in using it intelligently. I think the downside is that there's more content that is going to be needed to navigate, and I think we're just going to end up in a little bit of a AI back and forth where you say, hey, summarize this thing that the AI wrote that someone used to make, and you just kind of go back and forth in here to pull out the piece that matters.
In the same token, isn't Google also changing their analytics? And obviously Google still is the 800-pound gorilla that's out there, but aren't they changing this year as well? Yes,
they're switching to GA4, and it has not been a smooth rollout.
It's not.
No, it hasn't been, and I think hopefully that introduces some innovation into the analytics space. Back when we founded Home Elephant, which was the world's first neighborhood-based social media platform, we built in 3 weeks in 2012. We had all these cool analytics engines. One that made a doorbell chime every time someone came into the site for the first time. It's how we knew we were on CBS, The Early Show, on national TV. Because the doorbell just went wild all of a sudden. That kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore because Google Analytics has been free and good enough in the standard for so long that it's really hampered innovation in terms of analytics and real-time data. And so my hope is that the kind of difficult rollout of GA4 is going to add a little bit of fire under people who say, hey, I think we can do things better.
So you've scaled this thing, 1,400 awards. I was only off by 900 awards. And it's grown like crazy. Would there ever be a scenario where you would say, I would sell the company?
So I was asked that question when we did the Atlanta Business Chronicle Awards, and I didn't give them the right answer, apparently. I said, why exit something you love? But it's true.
That is a great quote, yeah.
I have seen so many CEOs. I'm in Vistage. I meet with CEOs all around the country. I've talked to so many people that build and sell something and then spend the next 10, 20 years trying to rekindle the magic, trying to have the team again, try to have the magic again. And when they sell, they think, oh, I'm the thing that's great. And then they realize it was this full team around them. And often they'll spend their fortune just trying to go back to what they were. And so for me, it's not about, can we add a bunch of dollars by selling the company? It's, are we leading the field? Are we building things other people can't do? If we hit a point where we realized that we weren't the best anymore, that would be my thought path to say, I've been at this for too long. But our tech this year has made leaps and bounds relative to really any other time, and we're always pushing ahead. So I have no desire to be, doing anything other than what we do.
I love that. That's all the beauty of entrepreneurship. There's some people that run the business forever, some bring their family members into it, and some people build things and just sell them. It is the beauty about being an entrepreneur. Do you consider yourself now a serial entrepreneur?
I consider myself chief nerd. That's basically it. I've founded or co-founded 6 companies, but it's all been in service of specific things that we wanted to accomplish.
And you think it's important to give back. I know you give back to a lot in the community in Berry College. It's important to give back once you build these things to help others get up the ladder, no?
Absolutely. And I think doing that from the earliest time is the way to go. I have a sign in my office that says, "Remember why you started." And that drives me a lot. Being able to help people that are weird like me, that in school, my dad said, get a 3.0 and I'll leave you alone. So I had a 3.2, so I had a little bit of cushion, and I sat there on this tiny little laptop called a Palm Top, and I just worked on business ideas. I played solitaire. I did anything other than schoolwork, and just, became what I wanted to be by going through that stuff. And so being in a position to inspire other people whose parents might not be giving that message, and who are saying, oh, don't take risks, go work at a safe job and that kind of thing. I think it's important to share your values with people that can benefit.
So you look at all sorts of cool stuff every day. Is there a website that people that are watching the program should check out? Or is there something they should check out now that's pretty cool?
Honestly, I spend most of my time seeing new things just by running through Twitter these days. Just
really?
Whatever new GPT stuff is out, wherever things are being pushed on, it's the most immediate source of information. I mean, there's a lot of junk in there, but if you take the time to curate, you typically end up being able to see stuff that you won't find somewhere else for a while.
And what's the one car that you don't own now that you might own as a next car?
Gosh, I don't. An orange Corvette, the newest one, and a Z06 because it sounds so nice. I haven't driven it, but I do like the sound of it.
Well, very cool. Congratulations on all of your success. You deserve it. Thanks for coming on the program today. If you're run a business and you're thinking about having a world-class website, take it from a guy, I did it myself. It makes a huge difference. Check out DynamiX. That's this week's show of The Roadmap, always exclusively here on ASBN.com. I'm Ted Jenkins. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching The Roadmap with Ted Jenkins.